Crusaders are going to conquer Jerusalem as well. When they arrive, they've actually been traveling through the Middle East up until that point. They had captured several cities, and every time they would capture it, they would talk the defenders into surrendering. And every time they would talk them into surrendering, they would line them up and then do mass executions. So when they get to Jerusalem, they've got the problem. They're not a desert army. They don't know how to do a desert siege. They've got the problem of running the water from the Jordan River. And they're holding out, hoping that God will intercede and help them, and God does. The Genovese sent siege equipment. They didn't have any siege equipment. They didn't know how to get over the walls. So they're stuck. They actually attacked a couple of times with nothing. And they get to the wall, and the Arabs are like, I don't know if this is moral, shooting arrows at them. And then finally they get the siege equipment because God told Genoa to send siege equipment. And they attack the city again, and they capture a piece of the outer wall. There was an inner wall and an outer wall. They capture a piece of the outer wall. And they go to the Arabs and they try to negotiate. And the Arabs are like, you know what, go to hell. We know you're just going to kill everybody after you get us to surrender. You've done it how many times? You did it at Antioch. You know, this is your pattern. We're not going to surrender to you. We'll fight to the death. It's preferable. And the Crusaders go, look, we'll make you a deal. Leave 10 at a time. That way, if we betray anybody, we just kill those 10 guys. So it's not worth it to us to betray, because what's the point in killing those 10 guys? Because if you still have the citadel inside the city, we still won't control it. So it doesn't do us any good. And they actually talk the Egyptian defenders into leaving this way. So they go 10 at a time. They just run out the city. And eventually, the last Egyptian defenders, the last 10, you got to figure they're going to die, but they didn't. They got away. They leave, and the Crusaders go and they close the gates. And they walk over to the Muslim quarter, and they whip out their swords, and they begin murdering everybody. Crusader accounts say that the slaughter in the Muslim quarter was so bad that there was blood flowing at knee level in the gutters. I have to think that has to be an exaggeration. I can't comprehend that much blood, but you know, this is the Crusader account saying this. So there must have been some truth to it. There must have been blood in the gutter, at least. The Muslims realized that it was over, they were going to die, so they began running to the mosques, thinking that they could die in the act of prayer, maybe that would help their chances with God. And the Crusaders would just use battering rams and smash the mosque door opens and murder everybody inside. And then they went to the tops of the mosques and they broke the crescent moons off and then replaced them with crosses and instantly had churches. Then they went to the Jewish quarter. And so this, you know, the Arabs were ruled by Muslims, but there were Jews and there were Christian Arabs. And Jerusalem was 2 Christian quarters, a Muslim quarter, and a Jewish quarter. They go to the Jewish quarter and they began murdering the Jews. And the Jews realize, okay, we've seen this story so many times. So they start running to synagogues to pray. So that can be their last act, is prayer in a synagogue. And the Crusaders don't smash the doors open. They just pile wood around the synagogues and light them on fire and burn the Jews to death inside. And the reason is because the Crusaders believed that Jews were so horrible, such horrible beings, that there was no way to cleanse and purify a synagogue and turn it into a church. The Crusaders actually began the Crusades in 1096 by murdering 9,000 Jewish Germans living along the Rhine River. So, that was their way of getting favor with Jesus before setting off to do this. They then went to the 2 Christian quarters. And of course, at this point, the Christians in Jerusalem don't know what to expect. And the Crusaders go, the clergy and the lay people who are, the deacons, need to step out. And so they do, and the Crusaders execute them. They mass execute all the clergy and the lay people, and it's because they were the wrong kind of Christian. The Great Schism had just happened in 1058. These were Orthodox Christians and the Crusaders were Catholics. And then they appointed the German and French priests that they had with them to be the new priests of Jerusalem. And they went, now you are all now Catholic.